Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Farm. Thinking right out here in the lab where I do what I do. Get the collar going, right? What's going on there? All right, do what I do for you. I'm back in the book. I'm excited. This is going to be a good lesson. We talk about how the Commissions influenced the Romans and the Greeks. Okay, you see there? See the three gods? Get a good look at them. Okay. Everybody got a god, and we had him first. We called him Tahuti. The Greeks called him Thoth or Hermes. That's the guy in the middle. Number one, you got Tahuti. Number two was the Greek mythology god Hermes. And then you got this guy Mercury. What's that with the wings on the hill? I get it to lesson, man. I'm about to have some fun. This is gonna be a minute. I ain't got but one page, but there's a whole bunch of stuff on here I can play with. So let's go. Radism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in and receive them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Get this next thing going out the way. All right, let's go. Right thinking mission, and I'm on it. It's to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you, to attain your reach your enlightenment, reach and obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment. Sorry about that. AKA know thyself. AKA know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get that together. So I ask the question: do you know you? When I'm through, yeah, that's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have to answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know dangers, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself and too. Maya, be true. Again, look at this picture. This it's too funny. I'm gonna break it down as we go though. First, we're gonna start with one that's Tahuti. That's the original. I like to get the origin of things. Okay, we know this is what it originally is. Okay, this is the Greeks' copy of it. They call him Hermes. What's with the wings on the heel? Him and Mercury got wings on the heel. It's supposed to signify symbolic symbolism of how fast they get from one place to another. That's symbolism. They got all esoteric teaching. I'm gonna try to break it down for you right quick. It's called right thing. Let's talk about the Greco-Roman mythology. Stole it from the Greek concept. How about that? They stole everything. They gonna steal our gods. This is what you call definition of stealing the gods. All right, Greco-Roman mythology, but they just stories. So allegorical, mythological, but they stories. But they contain esoteric teachings and messages that you can learn and manifest yourself. All right, let's talk about this right quick. Just as certain architectural stylings were originated in Kemet, greatly influenced the Greeks and the Romans. I was gonna do the architecture, but I had time to go to college. I got the Masonic order, the 5 steps to architecture. That was I call fluff. Nobody really gives a crap about that. Y'all might not give a crap about this, but I like this stuff, so I'm gonna give it to you because I like it. All right, here we go. But and it influenced the Greeks and the Romans, the architecture first of all. But the same can be said for the Nile Valley concepts of Neteru, whom the Greeks and the Romans referred to as gods. We didn't use the word God. We used Neteru. The pyramid text, I got that information in Kemet, 3200 BCE to 2250 BCE. 1,000 years, okay? described a family of 9 Neteru. We got them the Enoch, okay, which became known as the Great Enoch. Gave that lesson a long time. I broke all the Egyptian guys down. I'm breaking it again. I'll do it for you again. But that's the whole concept. And really what they were doing, teaching you how to use this thing called the brain. But this term is derived from, again, the Greeks, a word Enia, Ennea, which means 9. Just say 9. Shit, excuse me. But the basic sources of Greek mythology, the base source for Greek mythology is Kemet mythology. Just change, twist it a little bit. You know what I'm saying about that? You get me? But watch this. There's no such thing as Greek philosophy. It's Commission philosophy formed over. All right? But you got Greek mythology, and all of their primary characters and themes were contained in 3 classic writings for their time. Okay? And they wrote these in 8th century BCE. So until from 32 to 8, we were doing what we were doing constantly. But yeah, they came in, the Greeks got 3 books. The Hesiodus, the Theogony, and you got what they call Homer's Iliad and the Odyssey, which were all written in the 8th century BCE. Again, they putting their spin on it. They was giving it to the world as if it was theirs. So now during the 3rd century BCE, here come the Romans. They wasn't too smart, but they were fighters, okay? So they took control by might. They didn't con and sneak like the Greeks did. They just took it by might, just gangbusters, just bogart, strong arm, all right? But the Romans began to closely identify with the deities of the Greeks. Put their spin on it now. They took Hermes and called him Mercury, put wings on the heel. I'm gonna break down the caduceus, the staff that they all carry. Today, the medical sign that we got is from the Romans. Why? They were the last ones. And we go about what they did. They want to know the Bible. They didn't want to give us information. So they brought them on the totem pole, but they get everything their way. Why? They had the power. They just took a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and made their own stuff up. All right. But the Roman classical literature of religious and moral teachings were written in the latter years, in the 1st century BCE by a poet, by the name of Virgil. This great work was called the Aeneid, Aeneid, and it consisted of 12 books before the Bible, but Virgil based the first 6 books on the Odyssey, and the last 6 books were modeled after the Iliad. 2 different stories, 2 different concepts, but he put them all together, all right? But Virgil wrote the Iliad to establish the divinity for Roman emperor, which he closely associated with that of the Greek. So the following table lists similarities. They kill me with this. Comparisons between some of the Neteru of Kemet and the gods and goddesses of Greece and Rome. This is going to be fun, okay? First, we're going to talk about number 1. Number 1 is Tahuti. You see him? He got the ibis head, so he's not a man. He represents God's mind. That's the ibis head bird, okay? Signify intelligence and intellect. He got a staff with 2 snakes going up. And on top of each snake head, the serpent, one has the crown of Upper Egypt, and one had Lower Egypt, or Lower Egypt, Upper Egypt. Okay, he got the Ankh. He got the Ankh, the key of life in his hand. You see him? He's dressed in his regalia. Okay, outfit done, staff, right? You see the other guy. What's with these guys? Ain't never got no clothes on. These guys don't wear clothes. He's a naked man with wings on his heel, with a damn hat on and a staff. What the what? So they have some stuff going on there, but it's all symbolical and it's all esoteric and metaphorical to teach lessons. This is how they taught their philosophy. I understand that. So let's talk about first one, Tahuti. He's the nurturer of science, writing, articulation, and speech, medicine, He holds in his hands two staffs, which are entwined snakes. One serpent wears a crown. I told you, upper Kemet. The other wears the crown of lower Kemet. Greek came in and changed Kemet to Egypt. We knew we was Cometians. We called ourselves Cometians. The Greeks called us Egyptians. To this day, they go by the name of what? Egyptians. Why? Problem with that. But Tahuti was referred to as thought, again, by the Greeks. The reason why I got such a big hard on against the Greeks, I learned their philosophy in 10 years. I mastered Greek mythology. So I know these guys. I know the Greeks. I know them. I know the Romans too. I know their history. But what I didn't learn then was that neither one of these was the originator of nothing they did. I didn't know that. I went to Egypt. I'm like, dude, I gotta, yeah, I know firsthand. They took it and flipped it and gave it back. So that's why I got a big issue with them. I know the Greeks. Let's talk about the number two, the naked guy with a damn hat on and a staff and wings on his heels. Hermes was the Greek equivalent. Again, they say equivalent, but it's the copy. Okay, Hermes is the Greek copy of Tahuti. Call it what it is. All right, I'm gonna put the words in there. Anyway, he said I'm gonna say it that way because that's what the bottom line is. Let's keep it what it is. Tahuti Hermes was the Greek's equivalent, the copy of Tahuti. Why? Because he is shown carrying a staff which have two entwined snakes. That's coincidence. Just happened to be. It was called the staff of Hermes. In Greek mythology, he was associated with, he's the god of wisdom. He's God's mind. Tahuti is God's mind. The Hermetic sciences, we do the Hermetic principles, the 7 Hermetic principles. Everything is Hermetic. Everything is Hermetic. Tahuti wrote the measuring letter. Tahuti, the father of science, writing and articulation. So Hermes is the copy of him. Bottom line, simple as that. No matter how you want to cut it, that's probably what it is. And down to the staff. I don't know why they picked up the wings and the hat. That's on their own. That's their own idea. But no, they conjured up this character to be like Tahuti, and he's Hermes Trismegistus, thrice great, all that nonsense. He wrote the emerald tablets. Hermes this, Hermes that, Hermes this. Hermes in Greek, he was associated with wisdom, and what they call the Hermetic principles and the science were named in his honor. That's how the Greeks projected their gods. Let's go to the third one now. This is just too funny for me, but I'm hoping I'm giving you an understanding. You see, showing you. Now, this the guy. This is Mercury. Anybody familiar with Roman concept? That's their boy right there. He's Tahuti. He's Hermes. Oh no, that's Mercury. But he naked. He got a hat on, and he got that same staff. But that's the one we use in medical sign right there. See behind his hand? The staff, that's the medical sign we use today. Right? Why? Because the Romans are the last one to put the 2,500 years, they've been in control of what was written down, what was given to the public. So they got the power to do what they want. Remember, to the spoiler go the victor. He who win the war, tell a story any way you want. He ain't telling the truth. He telling his story. That's why they call it history. It's his story, not ours. I'm telling you the truth. Why? I got information. I ain't got to sit here and make up a bunch of stuff. It's right there. And they telling you they manufactured after us. We the originators, but y'all seem to not want that. Y'all like the other stuff. Y'all like the phony stuff, the fake stuff, the hand-me-down. You don't want the good stuff. You don't like it pure. Y'all want, okay, I hate to use the vernacular. I'm a cocaine man from the old day. Y'all want commercial cocaine. Y'all don't want the good stuff. Why? Y'all can't handle the good stuff. Like my man, y'all can't handle the true good cocaine. What y'all didn't had it, y'all wouldn't deal with it. Pure. Y'all can't handle that. I used to get it like that. Moving on. I made it commercial. Moving on, another lesson. Sorry, but a little too much information. Let's talk about Mercury. I can make my comparison, but it gotta be related with something I know about. And I know the drug concept, so I use them. Moving on. Mercury is the Greek version of Hermes and Tahuti. Well, goddamn, why just use Tahuti? Why I gotta keep it in the version? Everybody got a version. Moving on again, understand it. The meaning is the same. The purpose is the same. They just changed how they look, changed the esoteric, whatever the meaning behind it that works for them. I understand that. That's teaching. Okay, no problem. But if what you're doing ain't earning you blessings from God, you must be doing something wrong. So whatever it is you profess, whatever you profess, if it ain't not about him, it don't make a difference. I ain't beat for that. Why? I'm blessed for what I do. So I'm not beat for what you think or how you feel about what it is. As long as he okay with it, I'm good. Right there. Let me show you right quick. But he's the version of Hermes and Tahuti. You got 3 different versions now. Same guy, same thing, 3 different versions. You see where I'm going with that? I ain't saying they wrong. I'm just saying you got 3 different concepts. I choose to use the original. That's all I'm saying. I'm old school. Moving on. New don't mean better. All right? But he's similar in all aspects. They all pretty much the same. He got the staff that Mercury carries is called the caduceus. First it was staff of Tahuti. Okay. Next it was the staff of Hermes staff. Now it's the caduceus. And it has been adopted, changed, manifested, or rearranged as what? The universal symbol of medicine. Today, y'all use it on the almanacs right now. The same staff. And the 2 serpents represent Aset and Nefet. Okay. The wings represent Mayat. Excuse me, the feather, the wings. Yeah. To ascend, got to have the wings. Okay. You see Mayat with the wings spread out. Okay. And then you got the top, the dome. That's the sun disk. That's Ra. The staff of Sar. Okay. He's God. He represents God at the top. The sin with the wings. All this is all metaphorical esoteric teaching. And we missed the boat on a whole lot of it. It's been around since forever. They just modified it, jacked it up a little bit, rearranged it, and present the same thing. Repackage the same goods that ancients been doing for centuries. Now, down here at the bottom, got some more information. Each one of these got their own concept. I'm gonna break it down for you, read them off to you. This is too funny. They telling you they stole information or that they borrowed it. They inherited it. Those are common ways of saying they stole it. All right, let's talk about Kemet. Always first. The first one is the one you need to roll with. Why? That sets the tone. That's the original. Everything else is reading facsimiles. Watch this. Copies, spin-offs, okay? Wannabes. The first Kemet God is who? After every prayer, what y'all say? Amen. Amun. Amon, whatever you want to call it. Amun Ra Ptah. Amun's the hidden God. Okay, he's the one that you can't see. But the Greeks gave their title to Zeus. I tell everybody, reputation that Zeus had. Zeus, my old man was Zeus. Mm-hmm. Made a miracle baby. Had other outside kids. Didn't take care of other kids. Didn't do a damn thing. But had the one he liked. I was the one he liked. Okay, so I was Apollo. Okay, that's his son. I'm still, listen, they locked me up. I claimed to be Jesus back in the day. I read in the Bible. I thought my mom and dad, they was God and goddesses. So I must be Jesus. They locked my ass up. Thursday me up. All right, here you go. I'm on the hidden God. Zeus was the Greek God. He wasn't hidden. He was a man pajama. Okay. Oh man, he slept around with his wife, had outside kids. He was Rolling Stone. Zeus was the first pop with a Rolling Stone. Black man. Then they had child support back then, so he had to worry about it. In the Romans, here they come up with their nonsense. They got Jupiter. I don't even know who the hell he is. I've never seen a god Jupiter. Romans, I don't follow none of their nonsense. I know they wasn't too smart. So they just make stuff up. Like I said, who the hell is Jupiter? That's a planet. I know that. But what god named, damn it, Jupiter? But in divine aspects, each one of these had divine aspects. Amun, the hidden one, the ruler of gods. Zeus was the king of the gods. I don't know who the hell Jupiter is. Didn't do homework on him. Why? Could care less. Well, they don't care. The Roman gods, Bacchus, Mercury, Venus, Apollo. I don't know none of them. I know the name. I don't give a crap about none of them. Why? They manufactured, made up gods. That's why I ain't got the time for that. They give y'all Jesus. Oh, my bad. Well, I ain't supposed to say that. All right. But all these guys have divine aspects that made them gods. Amun, hidden one. Zeus, the thunderbolt maker. Jupiter, don't care. All right. Next one we got is Bes. Bes was the dwarf. Y'all call them pygmies. Okay. We call them Thai people, Twa. Okay. Little people. Okay. But they were supposed to be the ones who loved by God. Why? God loved them to dance. They were juvenile. They were laughing and dancing around. They the jokesters. They the court jesters. Little people. To this day, we still use them to make us laugh. Right? They funny little people. But Bes was the god of little people. The Greeks had a god called Dionysus, the great man. He the one turned the water into wine. He was the first. He's the original who done that for the Greeks. All right. Now they got this guy Bacchus. I remember him. That name from a Masonic order. Remember, the Romans pretty much gave us everything we got from the 2,000 years on. Everything was pretty much Roman conceptualized. But they got Bacchus. They got the god of wine. Bes wasn't the god of wine. Bes was the god of jovial happiness. But merriment, okay, happiness. He didn't say wine. Okay, that was the Greeks' concept. Dionysus, he's the wine, man. He got everybody drunk. And they brought Jesus to turn the water into wine and keep everybody drunk. Okay, Bes wasn't that guy. He was just a jovial, happy guy. Don't get it twisted. That's what I'm trying to set the record straight. And he's got a wine, and what? Wine leads to what? Reckless behavior. Bes wasn't reckless. He was happy and jovial. Again, they misconstrued it and make it their way. Since they tell the story, they can say what they want. They just gloss by Kemet, get to Greece to get to theirs. Because they're the storytellers. They don't want to tell the story, so they naturally want to get their story in. The next guy, Tahuti, or Thoth, by the Greeks. Okay? Hermes, again, from the Greeks. Mercury, by the Romans. They all had teachings, esoteric teachings, philosophy, and they all practiced what they wanted to do. I ain't got a problem with that. It's been that way since forever. Moving on. Excuse me. But to say one is greater than the other, better than the other, no, it's your choice. You have a choice. You can pick anyone you like. The Jews took a God, I'll take Yahweh. And they took it, they've been riding with every since. But now let's talk about the female goddess. Het Haru, or y'all know her from the Greeks, Hathor, the high-headed goddess. She's the female version to Haru. And the gods of Egypt, they all had female counterparts. And then the female, she got a male counterpart. Nobody went by themselves except God himself. Everybody came in pairs. Maya. All right. So Het Haru represent Aphrodite in Greek. The most beautiful world and the girl of the year. And Venus in Roman. Everybody know about Venus. Men from Mars, women from Venus, the prettiest woman. But her attributes, her aspects was, these are all God's messengers of the God and gods of science. Yeah, Tahuti was. I don't know about them other guys with the wings on their ankles. I don't know what that was about, but that's they esoteric teachers. All right, let me get to the next one. Oh, I gotta get this. I see the clock running. Now you got Haru. Y'all know him as Horus. Okay, he's the son of the sky god Ra, but we know him as Asar. We put him in human form, but we all worship the sun. And they knew the sun wasn't God. Amun was God, the hidden one. He said what? Let there be what? Light. So the sun was put there by God. It didn't create itself. God's the self-creator. Okay? Understand the concept. And you got Apollo, which is son of Zeus. Okay? And the Romans, they ain't so creative. They used Apollo the same one. They just said, what the hell with it? We're going to just keep it Apollo. They didn't even change the name. They lazy. All right? But you got Tahuti, Het Haru, the female spirit that's in us. We call it Hathor from the Greeks. Y'all call it Aphrodite. Now, these are the goddess of love and beauty. Okay, but Het Haru did work. It's another story, but that ain't what all. But this is the Romans concept. Now, the next one we got Imhotep. I just showed I get the lesson on that. Here's a black man. Black and black and black. They put him in black granite, so you know that he's black, black, black. Y'all take him and make him to this white guy, and that freaks me out. And y'all always ask the question, well, what's the color got to do with it? If it didn't do it, why you keep changing black to white? Color wasn't important. So we got issues there. Where we at? Oh, 105, I think, 151. But they got the picture. We know what Imhotep looked like, little black guy sitting down with stuff in his hand. They show him as a Greek god, like, no, that's not him. Oh man, I hate to do this. Here we go. Coming up on it. Yeah. This guy right here. They say he's Imhotep, right? That guy's white. Big as day, right? This is what Imhotep looks like for real. This is the real Imhotep. Just like we got the Christ. Black man, woolly hair, foot of grass. How did he become a stringy-haired white guy? But they'll tell you, oh, color don't matter. It don't make a difference. Yeah, well, obviously due to somebody. They go Imhotep. Had to get this in. Do he like a white man? A Greek or Greek or Roman? He's a black man. But they can't make him look like this. And then get mad when you question why would they do that? Oh, well, we see him in our likeness. No, y'all just changed the color of the man. Moving on. Let me wrap this up again. I had to get that in. But he's the father of medicine. He's the designer of the pyramid, the Saqqara. Okay? But they call him in Greece, Imhotep, they changed his name to Asclepius. Who the hell is Asclepius? Again, they changed the name to confuse them. Later on, people going, I hate breaking everything down. We said this, the Greeks called that. We called this, the Greeks called that. It's been that since the beginning. And the Romans, they got some other guy, Asclepius, god of healing. Okay, manifested, stolen, warmed over, and gave a different title. Imhotep was a multi-genius. Imhotep was the designer of the Saqqara pyramid. Imhotep was a whole bunch of stuff. They don't say none of that. They just give him God of healing. Oh no, he was deified. They gave him God status. Moving on to wrap it up. I'll get a preacher too. Oh man, it went way too long. I got a goddess Neith. She's represented by 2 arrows and a bow with a shield. She's the goddess of war. She's the original goddess of war. Why? She's the original. When she put that bow back and let it go, it never misses its mark. And its mark is ignorance. Okay? Her job to fight off ignorance. Metaphorically, symbolically, that's her job. She tell you, I gave birth to Ra. I birthed the son. She a bad girl. Okay. Now, Neith also was represented by the spool of thread. She's the one that helps keep the universe together. That's how strong she is. Her and Mayat were together. And the Greeks had a goddess called Athena. The goddess, she was born from Zeus's head, full-blown, grown with army gear. What the hell? I'm just saying. But that same story we got from Tahuti. They just took stories and, a little bit and made it something else. All our nursery rhymes are actual stories from ancient times. Asar, Humpty Dumpty, putting them back together again from Asar. Moving on. And if you don't study or get different information, you'll never know that. You just, what they say, that's it. No, I like to get the origins. I got a book called The Book of Origins where everything started. That's why I stay in Kemet. All right, wrapping it up. Athena, and then the grand ones had a girl, a female goddess by name of Minerva. Heard the name before. Again, these names from the Romans, I've heard them. I didn't care less about that. I don't do nothing Roman. Not a damn thing. Hate the numerals. Everything about Roman I didn't like. Okay? And I never wear a damn toga. Got a problem with them. But these last three, Neith, Athena, and Minerva, these was goddess of crafts, war, and wisdom. If they say so. They got a way of trying to put everybody in the same little box. Y'all didn't give them the credit the people who do. Y'all just putting everybody, in there to make it all seem the same. They're not. Just want to make that point clear. Right thinking, I got to go. I know it took a long time. I was having fun with this, just trying to break a few things down from my perspective, my understanding, so we can get a better understanding. Some people, I don't give a damn. I know that too. But in closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100. Me 100 minus a day. So I know that my right thinkers who start learning a few things about the origin of things and how the Greeks and the Romans stored everything, even our gods. Oh, I'm gonna take you to the next one. We're gonna talk about. Yeah, I'm on the road. Rape of Egypt. Yeah, everybody took a piece. Okay, Egypt, the place without pity. Nobody gave a damn about us. They took everything, even our gods. All right, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100. Me 100 minus a day. So I know that my right thinkers. I never know that my right thinkers who started learning a few things have passed away. I'll be right back.